Joining us now is Donnell Harvin, former D.C. Chief of Homeland Security and Intelligence, as well as a faculty member at Georgetown University. Donnell, welcome back to Faith Nation. So you just heard Jenna mention the president calling this a revival of the city, and D.C. is 100% secure. President Trump also said today in a radio interview that he is going to go out on patrol with the National Guard tonight. Donnell, does his presence on D.C. streets help or hurt the administration's stated goal of making the city safer, especially after we've already seen protesters who were able to run law enforcement out of one D.C. neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't know if it helps or hurts. It certainly drives home the point that the president's making, which is he's getting hands-on, rolling up his sleeves and getting involved in what he calls to be a crime wave. I'd like to take a step back and say that DC's has the lowest crime in the last 30 years. And so while there's been some debate on whether those numbers are true or not, I go to work in DC every day, and it's not the crime-riddled, hellscape that the administration makes it sound.
The Heritage Foundation put out numbers that mirror what the White House is claiming, that crime is down dramatically since the federal takeover. Carjackings down more than 80%, violent crime down 22%, and an 8% dip in all crimes. Donnell, what do you make of those numbers and whether this crackdown is actually working in practical terms?
Yeah, I mean, I'm former law enforcement, so I'm not going to say that, less cops equals, safer streets. I've advocated for more police. The mayor of DC has advocated for more police. And so I would not push back on those numbers by any means. But I want to take a step back when the government announced that they were going to go and do this crime crackdown in D.C., they were really focused on two specific areas. One was juvenile crime, which a lot of people find outlandish, but some of the incidents are well documented. And the other one's homelessness. Having more people with guns, having military out there in the streets of our nation's capital does not decrease those social problems. And so if you're going to go out there and surge law enforcement, if you're going to show this show of force and stop violent crimes and cut down on homelessness, you really need to do that in tandem with social programs, which is not being done right now, and really get to the heart of why those problems are what they are in D.C.
Donnell, do we know where some of these homeless people are being taken?
I have no idea. It's unclear. Homelessness is not a crime. And I want to also point out that some of these homeless people, a large percentage, anywhere from 15 to 20%, are veterans who the government, through multiple administrations, this is a nonpartisan issue, we all know this, have failed. And so, our military, they suffer all types of PTSD, drug abuse and substance abuse issues and mental health issues that are not being addressed, and often that ends up in homelessness.
As someone who is charged with defending and protecting the nation's capital, you just talked about your background in law enforcement. Where does your mind go with the federal takeover? Is it chain of command? Is it readiness and the expertise of the Guard to police D.C. or something else?
Well, fortunately for DC, I'm talking about integration now, you're talking about readiness. DC has a long history. The agencies I work for have a long history of integration law enforcement with the local and federal, because we do that all the time for national security special events like the inauguration or for the papal visit, things of that nature. So we're used to working collaboratively with law enforcement from the federal side. What they're not used to doing is taking orders directly from them. And so that's going to be worked out really on the ground between the DC chief and the administration's, advisory person that they've implemented there. Once again, more law enforcement's great, but no one wants to live in a police state, right? And so I want everyone to kind of think about, close your eyes and think about how would you feel if you went to your local farmer's market or your main street and you saw law enforcement all over the place doing some of the things we've seen them do in DC.
Okay, we will leave it there. Donnell Harvin, thank you very much.
Thanks, Donnell.